Nicola and Petra, welcome back on stage. It's a question and answer time. So I'd like to open up to all of you. There are people with microphones. They will come towards you. But first, maybe take one or two questions from our online audience. Gerrit Heikoop is our online moderator. So basically, he makes television, but in a very interactive form for... How many participants online, Gerrit?
Well, we had about over 1,000 people who pre-registered that they would watch. We've seen concurrent about 500 to 600 people online all the time, but obviously they don't stay all 3 hours. So right now we have about 900 people online joining us this morning. And I hope we don't disturb you up here. If you're wondering what's all this buzzing, what are all these people talking and walking here, we actually have a whole pack of project officers and experts right here behind us who actually take these questions and answer them in real time through online channels. Both people who come in via Twitter, Facebook or the mobile app. So even some of you might be in there. We take your answers live, but we have selected a few questions. Erica, if you could please join me, because obviously I can't determine which are the relevant questions, but Erica can. Erica Fogenzi of the Joint Technical Staff. Could you take one of the questions from our online viewers?
Yes, of course. First question coming from Spain said that we heard a lot talking about region, but what do we mean exactly behind this word? What is for Interreg Europe region? Can you explain?
Nicola. What is a region? You have the Euro-regions, you have countries working together that are adjacent, but in Interreg you see a lot of countries working together that are separated by other countries in between. So what defines a region?
Thanks, Eric, for this difficult question. Maybe we should take the other way around. We should take the policy instrument, or the policy we want to improve as an entry door. And a policy applied to a certain territory. Is it the mobility management policy of the city of Amsterdam? Or is it the entrepreneurship policy of Nord-Pas-de-Calais region, whatever? And this will define what we mean by region. And it's true that we should be much more careful when we use the region. To summarize, this program is dedicated to public administration that are responsible for policies. And this can be at the municipal level, at the county level, at the regional level, at the national level in some cases. So this is a very broad term that we use when we use region.
Yeah, so you can interpret it in any way that best suits you, right? Erica, let's take one more question from the online viewers and then we'll open up to all of you.
Yes, another very interesting one. Structural funds 2014-2020 have been already shaped. Should then we look at the 2021-2027? It's clear the question, Nico?
Shaped. Sorry, I didn't understand.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
As they have been shaped. Yes, they have been shaped, I confirm. The idea is not to influence the design, because it's too late. It's too late. The funds are submitted to the Commission, or they will be submitted in the coming weeks. The idea is we have these beautiful programs, beautiful investment priorities, measures, but perhaps we have done the same things forever and ever, and we have the opportunity with this program to feed them in a different way. So what we used to do with innovation or with entrepreneurship, with low-carbon economy, we can look outside what is going on, so we can finance different things. So the idea is, again, not influencing the design, but influencing the implementation of these funds.
Right, so that's considering some support. If you have a question, please raise your hands. Our hostesses are around with microphones. They will come and take your question. You, sir, please stand up, say your name, your region, and your question. Yeah, they're very comfortable chairs.
Yeah, they're very deep. Yeah.
Take some time to get out of it. Go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Algis Papademetriou. I come from northern Greek city of Drama. We currently implement a project in Interreg 4C. It's called ZEN. It has to do with zero impact emission on the environment in big cultural activities. You are moving from Interreg 4C to a more modernized program, a program that you want it to be more effective and to be a better one. And to my opinion, I believe you have to do that to all elements that contribute to the success of the program. You as European Commission or managing authority, you will do the best to manage a program. Us, as end practitioners, of course, we want to see our projects to be successful. But in between, there are other authorities that are involved in the success of the program or the implementation of the program. Are you doing anything, or will you be trying to do something to modernize these structures as well? And I'm referring, depending on the country, either regional authorities or national authorities like first level control or other authorities or payment, national contribution payment, that sometimes they really delay the project and sometimes they force us not to be as effective as we want to be. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Petra?
Of course, when we define the financial rules, we have to do them in respect of the European regulations. And first of all, the financial responsibility lies in the end within the member states. So many of these issues that you mentioned, first level control and so on, are in the member states' hand, and national contributions is also one aspect that is part of it. Nevertheless, in the discussions in the committees on program level, we are also discussing these things from a system point of view. And there, for example, on Thursday, we will have another meeting where we will discuss also how to simplify the first level control system, to see also what is really the role of the lead partner, what is the role of a lead partner first level controller, to which extent can we also avoid that expenditure that has already been checked on partner level is checked again on lead partner level and so on. So this is also one aspect, how to simplify the project management for you so that things that have been already checked on the ground are not rechecked again on another level, and so on and so on. Another aspect that I mentioned already during the presentation is the use of flat rates or lump sums. If certain costs are reimbursed through rates, through lump sums, it means also that you will not have to provide any proofs anymore, and this will also then hopefully make your first level control process much lighter.
Yeah. So your question, of course, is about the funding, but when you talk about influence in your low carbon objective, then Robert, could you give perhaps one advice? How can you get other organizations, other entities enthusiastic? How can you line them up? How can you take that influence so that they too will be motivated to spend some of their budget?
Yeah, good question. I suppose it's getting politicians involved is the lesson which came out from all the projects we've reviewed in the past. And that was, if you get local decision makers who are normally politically elected, they seem to be the but don't just rely on them, because when you have an election and they go out, your project can get tarred with their brush, and that might be bad news.
Yeah, so really focus on the issue, try to make it bigger, to raise the influence, show the progress that you have made, and it will become contagious. People will see, wow, they're quite successful. We want to put some effort in that as well. Other questions? I saw some hands raised. One towards the back, to the left, and I saw some hands here too. Maybe we can have a microphone here as well, if you can come over here. Lovely. First you, sir.
Okay. Hi, I'm Fabrice from the Forest Sciences Center of Catalonia, so in the Catalonia region. I have one specific question regarding pilot actions that you mentioned might be funded at some point. And I was wondering what you mean by justified actions, if we are talking about their innovative character or maybe the scale of these kind of actions. If we use these actions so at a small scale or at a larger scale to illustrate or to test new politics or new political tools, and in which phase then we would implement this kind of pilot actions. Thank you.
Nicola, I noticed you were taking notes.
Yeah.
You want to...
I think you have answered the question, because the terminology of pilot actions is not about necessarily innovation. It's about testing and experimenting on a small scale, something that I've discovered, and maybe in my region, it's not mature enough to generalize it, to get a full, what we call mainstreaming, a full transfer. So I need first to do a pilot to convince certain stakeholders, certain policy organizations, before it can be really spread further. So that's what is meant behind the wording pilot action. I don't know for the second part to which scale, to which extent we will finance that. The idea is that this has to be part of the action plan. This has to be part of a more strategic approach of the region. We are currently discussing in the Secretariat whether or not we should provide some financial limits, financial recommendation threshold for this kind of action, but as you see, we haven't decided yet.
And the emphasis clearly is on the small scale where you are then practicing this pilot action and transferring the practice from one region to another. But the emphasis is on small scale. There will not be any heavy investment involved in it. So in financial terms, this will rather be at a lower scale as well.
Next question.
I'm Simona Presenti from Catania, Italy. I would like to ask, what about the SME role? I mean, if an SME would like to be an active partner for a public administration, could they participate as external expert to suggest a solution, for example, to solve a problem? Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
The first question I would ask is why this SME would like to do this? What is the objective? What is the rationale? Where does it lead to? If there is relevance in involving, for instance, your region is thinking about developing innovation voucher. This is very fashionable. For sure, you need to see whether there is a need at the territorial level, and if the SMEs that may be targeted by these new tools are interested, or if it's adapted to them. So from that point of view, you may have at a certain moment to involve SMEs in the strategic thinking. But this will be done through the stakeholder group that we mentioned earlier in the presentation. And it could go up to, if relevant, paying the travel and accommodation costs of these relevant stakeholders to the interregional learning events. I hope I answer your question.
So, Nicolas, the money does not go to the SME, it goes to setting the right framework, right? And if it involves bringing in an SME to think along and travel, that's okay. But it's not to promote the business, it's not to help fund companies that are in trouble or have great ideas. There's one question there. Let's take just two more questions. And then, of course, in the afternoon and also tomorrow, there will be a lot of possibilities to ask more questions and interact. It's wonderful that you're even walking towards the microphone. Thank you so much. Makes it a bit quicker towards lunch.
Melina Lazaropoulou from Trek Consulting Greece. Actually, my question regards the content of the priority axis, because to tell you the truth, I'm a bit confused about the borders of its priority axis.
Right.
And especially I'm talking about the two low carbon economy and the environment and resource efficiency. Giving a specific example, if we would like to propose a project dealing with energy management systems, energy efficiency, and at the same time to, let's say, perform some pilot actions for renewable energy, in which priority axis do we fall?
I think your question will be on the minds of a lot of people here. So thank you very much for asking this question, because there seems to be quite a bit of overlap in between the different themes.
Exactly.
It will be helpful to have a look in the app from the event, because there's a listing there, as there was on the screen, with very narrowed down topics, so that you see in which they fit, in which way they fit into the four axes. But this is clearly something that asks for some clarification in some areas. Nicolas, would you like to say something about that?
Maybe the experts are the best place. For us, it's very clearly everything related to energy, everything is low carbon economy. And the second thing, sorry, if you come with pilots, the idea is not to come with pilots. The idea is to come with exchange of experience on policies.
Robert.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think that sounds like a low carbon one to me. There's much more low carbon than environment and resource efficiency in that.
But should you be in doubt, because this is just one personal example, I can possibly there's a lot more questions about this. Feel free to ask via Twitter, ask via the app, or ask via Facebook, and the project officers will answer. They will give you a suggestion, and then when you think you actually fit in another theme, discuss it again. But this afternoon, the boundaries of the themes will be clarified a lot in the workshops. Let's take one final question before we move into lunch. I see one hand there, two hands raised there. The microphone that arrives there fastest, ladies, come on, gets to ask the final question. So it's a big competition, a big challenge, but I think the microphone there has arrived. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. My name is Darko Ferce. I'm coming from a institute from Slovenia. So Slovenia, as you know, is a small country, and we do not have regional level. So the question is, if we focus on the use of Goal 1 resources, should, for example, in so small country be just one partner eligible as managing authority? The other question would be could they be kind of associated partner, because there could happen that they would not be able to participate as partners in the project? Or is it a little bit wider, so the other ministries or municipalities could also give a letter of support?
Do you mean, can you write a project for, can you go for different themes? Is that your question, or did I misunderstand?
It's more administrative.
Sorry?
It is more administrative. So yes. It was said before that letter of intent should be presented from the managing authorities or from the regions.
Ah, great. Yeah. Nicola, you want to say something about that?
Yes, I can. There is a fundamental difference between eligibility and whether the partner is relevant. So in terms of eligibility, Petra summarized who can be eligible in terms of status. Local municipalities in Slovenia will be more than welcome. And then the second question is that if you are focusing on structural funds in Slovenia, which is not an obligation, the link to structural funds in a project is not exclusive. Not all regions have to focus on structural funds. But if you make this choice in Slovenia, then yes, you would need to obtain a letter of support from this single managing authority at the national level, or any other relevant body. It will be up to the member state to define who can sign this support letter.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for asking your questions. Also for the online participants. Petra, Nicola, experts, thank you very much for sharing. Give them a big hand. For now, please remain on stage because we're moving towards lunch and I have a few public announcements that are quite important. So please bear with me before we have a nice Italian lunch, okay? So, about this afternoon, we will all get together in the thematic workshops. There is your choice. Your choice is on the back side of your badge. So if you turn your badge around, there's just one choice. That's a choice that you have made for any of the 4 themes. Now, if you want to change themes, please do not do that. But if you feel you need to, of course, you can. But then you have to wait if there is room left, because some of the workshops are really packed. So we ask for your understanding. So please go to the workshop that you have chosen before. And otherwise, if you switch, please understand that you might need to wait and that there is a possibility that it is fully booked. Apart from the workshops, there's another opportunity to do some good networking. Please bear with me. Shh. I will only be 2 minutes, I promise, but it's really important. So those are the networking stations. You can go to any networking station of your choice. You will find the networking tables listed on the website that you can access via the app. So you just choose networking and you see all different, very narrowed down topics. So that's a great way to meet partners, to meet people in your very specific area of interest. So that is something that will run parallel to the workshops. That is something that will run parallel tomorrow too. You can also start your own topic, your own networking station. So give that a try. So this afternoon's workshops are all about networking and partner finding and talking, sharing vision, ideas about opportunities too. So it will be a really exciting, great afternoon. And after the workshop, it's 2 different rounds, we'd like to invite you to stay for networking drinks. When you enter into the workshop room, this is the most important thing I'm going to say, to increase the odds that you find people that want to talk about exactly the same narrowed down area of interest that you came for, we divided these 4 themes into sub-themes. So all the workshop areas, they consist, all the workshop halls, they consist of different areas. So when you walk into those rooms, remember this, to look on the screen and find the rows, the allocated seating that best matches your interest. You know, it might be hard for you to find the right match, but take some time, put some energy in that, because it will really increase the odds of making the workshops a great success for you and your organizations and your regions personally. So, for now, share your thoughts, inspirations and questions, because there were a lot more questions. You can ask them up until tomorrow or even after via the event app, via Twitter, via Facebook. They will all be answered. And also, please, after each session, send us your feedback via the app. For now, please take your personal belongings with you, because this afternoon we will not come back into this big plenary hall. Everything will happen in different areas. So we walk over past the registration now, so past the place where you got the badges, to the adjacent building, and there up 1 stairs. And you could just follow the signs, or the other participants. It is signed lunch, okay? So the lunch is in the adjacent building, and from there to the workshops that will start at 2:15. If you have chosen SME competitiveness, environment and resource efficiency, who of you has chosen that? Then from lunch you walk down the stairs and follow the signs. And if you have chosen for research and innovation or low carbon economy, from lunch you go up the stairs. I wish you a fantastic afternoon with great contacts, wonderful inspiration. Tomorrow we will be back here. Don't forget to bring your badge, because that is your guarantee to get into the building. See you here tomorrow or in the workshops this afternoon. Have a lot of fun.
All right. Wait. Stay here. Stay with me. Yeah. All right. Eric just lost me 100 viewers, I saw, but you're still there, and that's the most important thing. Obviously, we're running late a bit. The official end time of this event was 1 o'clock, but we intended to have like an extra 15 minutes exclusively for you online to take some more of the questions, because I saw you guys are doing great. You're entering questions massively through Twitter, through Facebook, through the mobile app, and we'd like to go back to Erica and Katja on my side here to take a few more questions and a few more answers. So please stay tuned for that. I mean, the good news is you guys don't have to sit there and be hungry. You probably already eaten lunch, right? So if you care, please share a photo of your lunch so we actually know what you guys are having all over Europe. But after I go to Katja and Eric, I will also have Irma with me here, the communication officer of INTERREG, and I will go with her into the next steps about what is happening after this event. So please stay with us. First of all, let's go back to Eric and Katja. Erika, congratulations on your great performance just now in the plenary.
Thank you, Gary.
I mean, like we
Yeah.
said to the audience, this thing has been buzzing, right? So unfortunately, we have only like 2-3 questions we could take in the plenary. Could you take a few more?
Of course, we receive, as you said, a lot of questions. Would say one of the most interesting was how we can prove the involvement of stakeholder groups. We know that this is an important feature for the future program. And the reply that we can give to this question is that stakeholder groups should be described already in the application form stage. So this will be for us as program level the first step to check the involvement of the local actors into the project.
Yep.
And the second element will be via the monitoring. Every 6 months we will monitor the project and we will get information about how the stakeholder group have been involved in the cooperation.
Exactly. And I think I briefly touched with Magda on this. I can imagine it's kind of difficult to, so far in advance, have all my stakeholders ready. Can this be dynamic during the project? Or?
Definitely yes. We don't ask to have an exhaustive list at the beginning. We know that this is an ongoing process. It depends also how the cooperation is going. So at the beginning they should identify a reasonable list of these stakeholders, but then also during the life of the project they could add new actors that participate in this activity, in this local stakeholder group.
Well, perfect. I hope that answers your questions about the role of stakeholders. Let's take another one.
Another one is more linked to what Magda said before because it's about the platform. They ask us who will be in charge of running the platforms. So the platform will be run by the program together with a group of experts, thematically group of experts, and we will select them via a public procurement. So the platform will jointly managed by us, the Secretariat, from an administrative point of view, and with the support of this expert that will provide us knowledge about the topic of our program.
Perfect. And I guess that's also something if some experts are watching.
I think
right?
so.
It hasn't been decided yet, so you can again keep your eyes open on the channels of INTERREG because there will be a call also for experts to attend them. Good stuff. What else came in?
It came in a very interesting point via Twitter, about what could happen if the operational program doesn't refer to one specific team. For instance, we have this example of an operational program that doesn't have the low carbon team within its priorities. We would like to stress that at least half of the regions should address structural funds, but there is still the possibility for the ones that are not belonging to this 50% to address regional policies, so any other kind of policy that relates to the specific topic. So don't be worried if your operational program is too narrow and there is no possibility to intervene on it, you can still participate, declaring of addressing other regional policies.
Okay. Well, again, it's a very technical answer, and you're talking very quickly. Good news is, obviously, this stuff is not only streamed, but it's all recorded as well, so it will be available afterwards if you want to play that back a bit and slowly listen to it. Okay, maybe one final one?
One final one, now I'm...
Or am I surprising you now?
Yes, you
had
are
3
surprising
prepared.
me. I prepared 3.
Katja, you want to share one? Go ahead.
No, I was just wondering if we had already mentioned the how people can find partners outside this forum. I don't know, was there already a question on that?
No. And I saw that tweet coming in, right? Someone said, well, I would like to also to find partners, and I'm not in Bologna. Well, first of all, during the coffee break, I asked you guys that you could actually tweet out who you are and what you're looking for. Quite a lot of people of you did that very well, thank you. Do you have other opportunities beyond this forum in Bologna where people...
I think that Irma, my colleague, the communication officer, will talk about that. We will have definitely tools, as for instance a partner search database in our website where people interested in cooperation, they could really look for partners.
All right,
so
well let's not steal Irma's thunder. Let's just bring her in here. It's a nice little bridge. Thank you very much. And
You're welcome.
As I said, you guys go on, right, for a while because there's a massive amount of questions. Great job. Keep them coming and good luck. For the rest of the day, I guess. Yeah. All right. So as said, I'm joined by Irma. Congratulations on this great first plenary.
Thank you very much.
Because
Hello to everyone.
People who don't know that, please step in a bit. People who know that, who don't know that, you're actually one of the main organizers of this forum, right?
Yes.
So you just come back from backstage, but you're also the communication officer of the INTERREG program.
Yes.
And I'd like to talk to you a bit. What's next? Obviously, people watching are not in Bologna. We already saw the question coming in. How can they find other partners, for example?
This is a very good question, but at first I would like to check if you did a good job. Are all those online participants registered? I hope they are, because after this event, we will be sending a report, and you will also get an access to the second day's video. So that's why I think it's important to register to get further information from us.
Yeah, because we saw quite some questions on that. People asking, are the afternoon sessions recorded? Yes. Why not? Oh, it's a pity. Well, yes. Two learnings. First of all, when INTERREG announces a forum, you should register quicker, so you make it actually into the room in Bologna. But other than that, we want to include you in our follow-up communication, and you need to drop your details on the top right corner of the page.
Yes. And concerning the partner search, in the upcoming weeks we will launch two models. One for the partner search, it will be a part of our current website. So everyone interested to find a partner will have an opportunity to publish the idea and also to search. And the second model we are developing, it's on the project ideas. So it will not be, you will be able not only to look for the partners, but also to publish your ideas. And in January, the Joint Technical Secretariat plans to launch the project consultation forum. So we'll be providing consultations online and also by phone, and also there will be some individual consultations organized during the national events all around Europe. So this is for you an opportunity to join and to get a direct contact with the program and to consult on your project ideas.
Exactly. So this is specifically for people watching or people in the room who have a project, who probably already have some partners, but then want some in-depth practical stuff on how to be most eligible and have a best application.
On this is not only
it's not on the application.
It's not only the models we are developing. The document everyone should read, and this is under preparation. It's the program manual. In the program manual, it will be stated all the rules, how to apply, what projects are accepted, how we will assess the projects afterwards, and what is important to take into account when developing the project and implementing the project. So those documents will be available before the first call will be launched. It means before April, and this is the document everyone will refer to.
It's kind of a handbook, right?
Exactly,
if you want to apply.
Or maybe a Bible everyone should. Our program Bible, we could say so, yes.
And let's tell again very clear, where can people find that if it once it becomes available?
Currently we have a section under INTERREG 4C website, but we are developing a new website, and so the address is www.interregeurope.eu.
Okay, and I guess if you're not sure or you don't want to remember this, easiest thing is just follow the social channels, right? INTERREG on Facebook, it's facebook.com/INTERREG Europe. They'll probably announce it there. Twitter, same thing, @INTERREG Europe. Just like, follow, and you'll be always on there. Okay. Now, if we move towards April, can you elaborate a little bit on how that procedure is going to look? Because I saw some questions online saying, "Ooh, you guys keep mentioning April 2015. Do I have to be ready with everything then?"
I think it's a good point to start building partnerships and thinking about the project ideas already now. Because from our experience, we know that it takes time to develop the project and afterwards to fill in the project application. The good point this time that the online application, it will be I already mentioned that it will be an online application, so the process will be simply easier. It will be easier to submit.
Low carbon, resource efficient.
Exactly. This is why we are aiming and why doing this, I think, nice event also online.
Exactly. Okay, thank you very much. Is there any final tip or message you want to share with our viewers?
I would like to thank you to everyone who is watching us, and to invite to stay with us till April, and after April to check information on our website about INTERREG Europe, and I hope also to see you in other events.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Very famous last word. Thank you, and enjoy the forum. Good luck.